Hello, UCAR. Peter Christensen here, coming to you from the CEO's desk. Gonna take a different tack today. This is less legal-based and more informational about, I guess it is kind of legal-based. Gonna talk about, so the legislative session is going right now here in Utah, and gonna talk about how a lot of laws come about. I don't know. Maybe you're interested. Maybe you're not. I don't know. This not gonna do the process of first reading, second reading, committees, that kind of stuff. Maybe we can do that in a different video. But no, gonna talk about really okay. So I grew up, thinking maybe the word special interest, I guess 2 words, was the term was kind of gross. But you could argue that we are a special interest group, right? And what purpose do they play? How do they fit into it? Well, you have someone like me who is an attorney who's focused on real estate transactional law for close to 18 years now, teaches classes, helps write the forms that are used, and really talks to real estate licensees almost every day. And so someone like me, I hears about a lot of the stuff going on, hears problems. Maybe there's an economic shift, an industry shift, maybe new regulations create some problem in how the code is being enforced, the law is being enforced. And so we may hear of issues and then be able to take that information and say, you know what, we might need a change to the law to address this new factor, this new circumstance that's come about. And so then we go to the legislature and find a legislator and say, hey, we're interested in maybe changing this law or adding something or taking something away, and talk to them about it and say, are you interested in putting this in a bill to go forward in the process? Then other industries can chime in once it's kind of put into a bill and put out there. They'll chime in, say, oh, well, this affects us this way. Maybe we can change some language. But most of our legislators, they have their day jobs, but a lot of them, how many of them know a ton about real estate transactional law to the level of, say, some industry experts, say, people who've been in that industry for a long time? Probably not a lot of them have that level of understanding. And so would they know to change the law? Would they even know what language to put in there? Probably not. So they rely on groups like ours to come forward and say, yeah, here's some issues that we would love to see addressed. And we've got some of those going on at the legislature right now that we've had a voice in. And we have even proposed language that will, if they get passed, I'll do a video about those. But it really, it's not as gross as I thought it was. How do special interest groups play into this? Well, it just means it's a group that has a focus, like real estate transactional law, and that helps balance the system out by giving an expert opinion on something. So, and then there's another purpose, I think, that those special interest groups serve. Groups, I guess, like ours. And that is, let's say there's a different group. Let's say and I'm making this up. This is hypothetical. But they say, hey, we love the environment, and we want to protect the environment. And you know what causes some pollution? It's inefficient households, energy inefficiency in a house. And you know what? Windows. Those windows, you lose a lot of your heat, your cool out of those windows. So you know it would be a lot more energy efficient? Houses without windows. And that sounds like a good idea, right? So let's go get the legislature. Let's propose that, hey, you could save us, save the environment by building houses by requiring that houses cannot have windows. And you may get a well-meaning legislator who says, boy, that really would make them more energy efficient. Okay, I'll propose a bill that no houses can have windows. So then you get groups like ours who might hear about that and say, time out. Let's weigh the cost benefit of that. Is it first of all, there are property rights, and is it really the role of the government to tell people they can't have windows in their house? And then other groups, maybe mental health professionals might come forward and say, it's really good for people's mental health to have a window in their house, have lots of windows in their houses. And you may get another group who says, hey, listen, we've come a long way on energy efficiency in windows. They're not as bad as they used to be. We're not really going to change much about the energy efficiency of a house by eliminating all the windows. And so you get differing voices that help make the laws better. But it takes voices from all sides. It takes these special interest groups who have differing expertise, and they can come together and all chime in and work together to say, okay, maybe we need to educate people. Maybe if we have some money at the state, we could give grants to updating people's windows to be more energy efficient. So it's, you kind of need them on all sides to get good laws. And that's kind of a little glimpse into how a lot of bills and there are, I don't know the count, but there are a ton of bills every session that go through the legislature. And so, it is interesting, but a lot of them start that way. A group that is in a field, understands it better than most people, comes to the legislature and says, we have some issues here that we think need to be changed in the code to address something going on in our industry, in our field of expertise. And then you get other groups with differing expertise to chime in and make them better. So just a little glimpse into it. Remember, this is not legal advice. There was no advice at all. It's legal information only. If you need legal advice, please contact your attorney. Thanks for tuning in.